I recently have came to the realization that I have an emotional connection to 6-liter Powerstrokes. And although I think that they're great trucks, I think my strongest tie to them is an emotional tie. And I'll kind of explain why. So growing up, my father had a 2007 6-liter Powerstroke, and this was through my middle school to high school years that he owned this truck, and it was kind of the time where a boy starts to really have interest in vehicles. You know, it's not too long before, you know, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds are kind of getting the urge to start wrenching on things. They're going to be driving in a few years. And so I had a strong emotional tie to this vehicle for that reason, but also it was the vehicle that every time I would go and see my dad or visit him, it was a vehicle that was the connection between him picking me up at the airport, and it was all hands on. Every single weekend we were going to cabin, camping, the lake, fishing. I mean, all the things that a young guy or young boy loves and starts to really make a strong connection with. That was the vehicle that got us there. We would tow snowmobiles for snowmobile trips, four-wheelers, all the different things, and I just saw it as a very capable vehicle. And at the time, and still today, my dad is a huge role model for me, and just having that connection through those years of my life to that truck, the sounds, the smells, the capability, the pulling power, all of the things made me have a strong emotional connection to 6-liter Powerstrokes. And the reason I'm making this video, or the reason that I'm sharing this, is because I have a lot of friends that ask, like, what? Dude, why would you not want a 6.7? They're less expensive than they used to be now because you can pick one, you know, them up used. They're more capable, they're more reliable, all the things. And that's true. 6.7s are phenomenal. I've owned two of them as well. And they are, and I still probably would prefer a 6.7 as far as what works for our family more. But there is a strong connection that I have to 6-liters. I've personally have owned two of them. One of them was a 2006 XLT. It was an extended cab short bed, and the other one was a 2005 four-door long bed King Ranch with the captain seats in the back. The 06 had been treated very poorly with maintenance, and it was a nightmare of a vehicle. Every time I drove it, something broke. I owned it for a year, but that's because there was a title issue from the dealership that I bought it with. That's a long story to begin with, but the 05 was one of the best trucks I've ever had. I put about 30 or 40,000 miles on it in the 2 years that I owned it, and I towed way overweight all the time with it. I had a dump trailer and a roll-off dumpster business at the time, and a landscaping business. So we were towing tractors, mowers, 7-8 tons of aggregate of whatever, you know, dirt, rock, and worked that truck extremely hard and had very little issues with it. It was on stock heads, stock head bolts. I had two different times a high pressure oil leak, and one of them was from a standpipe O-ring and the other one was from an injector O-ring. So fairly simple repairs during that time. It was tuned and deleted, and I drove the crap out of that truck, and it was very, very phenomenal in the way that it operated. And I am actually considering possibly picking up another 6.0 here in the near future. It'll be a 6.0 or a 6.7, just depending on what we find. But I just wanted to kind of address, a lot of people are just blown away why anybody would like a 6.0, and between the sounds and the smells, and if you know the kind of things that go wrong with a 6-liter and have a scanner, like a Edge CTS 3 is what I have, CTS 4, 3 or 4, don't quote me on it, but you're able to see a lot of details on what could possibly be going wrong, especially if you have like a hot nose start or a cold nose start, or you know, whatever's going on. You can diagnose a lot these days with what we know about 6.0s now and just a scanner. And I do not think they're the best truck in the world, but they're definitely, there's probably more negative news that you see on 6.0s than they probably deserve. Yes, some people have some major issues with them, but a lot of it I think is lack of maintenance and lack of knowledge from the mechanics that are doing the repairs. And so that, I digress at this point, but I just wanted to kind of share why I have kind of a liking for 6-liters, and just wanted to share that with y'all. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Super interested to see what kind of experiences you guys have had from 6.0s. Again, I get it. I had a terrible experience with one and a phenomenal experience with another. And I think it truly comes down to lack of maintenance on one. Could be wrong on that, but share what your experiences have been down below, and see you guys on the next video.